Good morning. Welcome to the first video for my new channel called Sober Sunrise. On this channel, I'm going to read the daily reflection from Alcoholics Anonymous and react to it. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to react to each one live without having pre-read it or formed any opinions or thoughts. And that's pretty much all the channel's going to be. No editing, no scripts, just an honest reaction to the daily reflection, hopefully every day. And then on Fridays, and at least for now, on Fridays, probably going to try to have a guest appear with me, have a conversation about the daily reflection, maybe tell a little bit of their story about recovery. I'll tell a little bit of my story on this first episode. It's 6:21 a.m. It's June 12th. I'm not sorry, June 14th. It's a beautiful morning. Perfect spring morning. I have 1,178 days sober. So that's 3 years, 2 months, 3 years and almost 3 months. I was an alcoholic from an early age. I realized that I had a relationship with alcohol that wasn't like the relationship of the people around me, like my friends. We partied a lot in high school, and I partied a little harder than most. Wasn't ever really into drugs. Smoked some weed, did some coke during my early 20s, but it was alcohol for me, was my comfort zone. And I realized from an early age that I drank differently from other people. And I knew it, and it scared me, but I didn't know what to do about it. I was young, I had a perception of being invincible, and I knew one day I would be able to just stop if I wanted to. So fast forward 2 decades, and I went through a divorce, and things got really bad. My anxiety had become nearly debilitating, and my anxiety would be triggered when I was driving on the highway. So I used to use alcohol to help me get through long drives on the highway, which I had to do every day because I worked 45 minutes to an hour away from where I lived, and it was almost entirely highway driving. So that's when things started to get really bad. I used alcohol to get through those anxiety-inducing moments, because it's really bad to have a panic attack when you're on the highway going really fast. It's happened to me before, and it's very scary. So I eventually did reach out for help. I went to treatment once, came back, thought I had it all figured out after 30-something days in treatment. Made it another 30-something days before I decided I could have one drink and I could outsmart the disease of alcoholism. One drink turned into 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 that first night. And the relapse was worse than the situation before I went to treatment. So then about 2 or 3 months later, I went back to treatment again. And that was in March of 2022. My sobriety date is March 24th of 2022. So that's my story. That's the Cliff's Notes version. So let's get into the daily reading today. June 14th, the daily reflection. You can see it on the screen. It says, "When the going gets rough," June 14th. "It is a design for living that works in rough going." That's from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 15. Reading is when I came to AA, I realized that AA worked wonderfully to help keep me sober. But could it work on real life problems, not concerned with drinking? I had my doubts. After being sober for more than 2 years, I got my answer. I lost my job, developed physical problems. My diabetic father lost a leg, and someone I loved left me for another. And all of this happened during a 2-week period. Reality crashed in, yet AA was there to support, comfort, and strengthen me. The principles I had learned during my early days of sobriety became a mainstay of my life. For not only did I come through, but I never stopped being able to help newcomers. AA taught me not to be overwhelmed, but rather to accept and understand my life as it unfolded. So, initial reaction, the first line, it's a design for living that works in rough going. I find that to be accurate. I'm an AA person. Not everyone in recovery from alcohol goes to AA. That's fine. If you found something that works for you, keep doing what you're doing. But if you're one of those people who won't go to AA because you think it's too religious, or you think whatever you happen to think, too religious is usually the main argument I hear for people who refuse to go to AA. No, it's too much talk about God, right? If you're one of those people and you refuse to open your mind to AA fully, but you keep going through the same cycles, I say please try one more time. Please, please, please try one more time. Go to one more meeting. If you can sit through it with an open mind and an open heart and look for the things that you have in common with people rather than the things that you have that are different from other people, religion being the main detractor for most people. Look past the religion. You will, depending on where you are in the world, you might find that the only meeting near you is very religious. That might be the case. But there are meetings online. There are meetings 24 hours a day on Zoom. AA meetings that cater to all types of different people. Don't dismiss AA for religious sake. I think that's a lazy excuse. It's a lazy excuse because you're afraid to go and do the hard work of quitting and then doing the hard work that goes into staying sober and staying in recovery. That's just my opinion. It is a design for living that works in rough going. It's a simple solution that's hard to execute. It's simple, but it's not easy. It gives you a solution to get through anything life can throw at you without going back to drinking or using. And it works if you work it. And by work it, I mean the steps, being of service, having an open mind and an open heart. It works. When I came to AA, I realized that AA worked wonderfully to help keep me sober. But could it work on real life problems, not concerned with drinking? I had my doubts. And then this terrible story about everything that went on in this person's life during a 2-week period. I've been lucky where I haven't been tested yet in a big, big way. But I'm confident that if something were to come up, the worst case scenario, I'm confident that I would be able to get through anything at this point without saying, forget it. My life would be better right now if I drank. I'm too scared, I'm too weak, I'm too whatever, I'm going to drink. I'm confident that that won't ever happen to me again. Because I have put in a lot of work on finding out a lot about myself. I've done a lot of work being of service to other people. And I know that my life is 1000% better, sober, in recovery, helping other people, than it could ever be going back to the way I used to be. There is no doubt in my mind. But again, I say that with the caveat that I haven't been tested yet. Um, since I had my last drink, I've had challenges. I've had hard days and hard weeks, but still haven't even come close to wanting to numb those challenges away by drinking again. I play the tape forward in my head. I know what one drink will lead to, and it's just not worth it for me. Um, the principles I had learned during my early days of sobriety became a mainstay of my life. For not only did I come through, but I never stopped being able to help newcomers. Helping newcomers, helping anyone, but newcomers especially, um, has given me such a sense of purpose and pride. And truly, like for me, I know what my life is, um, what this life is intended for me. Uh, it's early, I didn't say that correctly, forgive me, but I know what my purpose is. I'll talk more about that in further episodes of the podcast, or the podcast, the YouTube channel videos. Who knows? Maybe there will be a podcast someday. I know what my purpose is. It's to be of service to other people. I'm not a religious person at all. I'm a very spiritual person, but I am not a religious person. And I understand that my purpose is to be of service to others. And I have big plans to make that a reality. And I think that that was somewhat always there, deep down inside me. But there was too much alcohol poured on top of that person. That person was just drowning in alcohol. And once the alcohol dried up, that person, the person I am now, came to the surface. And I'm very happy with who I am now. Not perfect, of course, but I'm getting better every day. AA taught me not to be overwhelmed. Life is very overwhelming sometimes. Some days it's all we can do just to get from opening our eyes in the morning to hitting that pillow at the end of the day without doing something really desperate. There's a lot of desperation in some days, more so for some people than others. But if you can find it in yourself on the days where you're feeling good, to reach out to someone else, to check on them, to be of service to them, then you're really winning. And if you can find it in yourself at some point to reach out to someone else on the days when you are not at your best, when it's a really rough day and you can still find it in yourself to reach out to others and be kind and be self-sacrificing and just to do something for someone else, check in on another person in recovery, anything really. If you can do that on your worst day, then you can do anything. Don't be overwhelmed. Don't let the overwhelmed feeling win. Um, when that feeling of being overwhelmed kicks in, try to do something for someone else. Get out of yourself. Think about someone else. Think about their well being instead of what's happening to you. And I promise it'll make you feel better and it'll help you get through that day. Because AA taught me that when I'm feeling overwhelmed, that's when I should reach out to someone else and say, "How you doing?" It happened a little bit yesterday. I have a friend who maybe someday will be on one of these episodes who I noticed was posting some interesting content on a social media platform. And he recently had been through a fairly traumatic event, having to go back into a treatment environment after being out for a while. And I talked to him last weekend, and then this week he was posting some interesting videos. So I checked in on him, and it made me feel like whatever was going on during my day yesterday was not that significant. And it's true, it wasn't. I got out of myself for a little 2 to 5 minute period there, and I thought about him and how he was doing. And then when that period was over, I wasn't thinking about woe is me anymore. I was carrying on with my day as though everything was fine. Because truly it was. Everything was fine. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. AA taught me not to be overwhelmed, but rather to accept and understand my life as it unfolded. The Serenity Prayer, it gets me through a lot. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Now that's the short version of the Serenity Prayer, but it does the job for me. I'm not in control of everything. I'm not the director of this play, movie, whatever. I'm just an actor. When I try to be in control of everything, I get really overwhelmed. I am not the best version of myself when I try to be in control. The arrogant, cocky ego comes out, and I am not the best version of myself. I recognized through my hard work after getting sober that I am an egomaniac with an inferiority complex. And now that I am aware of that, I can work on it. So, I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm looking forward to it with a sense of cautious optimism, a little trepidatious, but enthusiastic. And that's what Alcoholics Anonymous has done for me so far. Alcoholics Anonymous works if you give it a chance. So going back to the top of my rant, if you're too afraid, I get it. It's scary. It's very scary to let go of control, sit down at a meeting, sit all the way down at a meeting, listen, and then admit to yourself that I have a lot in common with these people that are sharing. You won't have everything in common with everyone, But if you go to enough meetings and give yourself a chance, if you give yourself a chance to listen with an open mind and an open heart, I promise you, it's a guarantee that you'll find that you have more in common with the folks in those rooms than you have differences with them. And only with an open mind and open heart will that happen. You can go to 100 meetings, 1,000 meetings, and if you don't have an open mind and an open heart, you'll find some reason why AA won't work. Until you let that guard down and stop trying to run the show, stop trying to use the differences to protect you from the work, the differences to protect you from feeling your real feelings. Until you can do that, it won't work. But when you can do that, the light will go on and the rest of your life will be better. I promise. Won't be perfect, but it'll be better. So I think that's all I have for this first video. Yeah, that's how this is going to go. If you like it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell so you can get alerts on when new videos are posted. Share the channel with someone who you think might benefit from listening. It won't just be me every day. Like I said, I will have some folks come on who have been through, are going through the journey as well, to share their thoughts. And who knows what'll happen with the channel. But yeah, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get notifications, share the channel. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. I don't really care if this channel makes money or not. I could care less. In fact, most likely if this channel does make any money, I'm just going to donate it to a nonprofit or to AA. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't care about that. I want people to listen and feel like they're not alone and that there are others going through it. And maybe after listening to enough of these, you or someone you know and love will have the courage to open their heart and open their mind to a new way of living. It's a design for living that works in rough going. So thank you for listening. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, you're not alone. You can do this. Thank you for listening.